SpaceX or XAI launched their newest model, Grok 4.5. And there are a few reasons why this is really, really exciting. So, on the surface, this is another coding reasoning model, very much similar to Opus 4.8 or GPT 5.5. But the part that is really interesting over here is that this was launched after SpaceX acquired Cursor. Cursor is a IDE tool. It's very much similar to Claude Code or Codex. And Cursor already had a great product. But after it was acquired by SpaceX or XAI, they got access to a lot of compute. And that enabled them to use all the coding data that they have collected over the years and then use XAI's compute to create the best model out there. So let's check out how good this model is, how you can use this right now, and how well does it perform in practical testing scenarios. So let's start with the first thing. XAI launched this yesterday with a blog post on their website. And there are a few cool things about this. So first thing is, in terms of benchmark, this is comparable to all the frontier models. So it ranks just below Fable and GPT 5.5, and they claim this is better than Opus 4.7 and Opus 4.8 both, which is a really big claim. They mention that they have trained this across tens of thousands of NVIDIA GB300 GPUs, which is exactly the reason why this model could be one of the best models out there right now. And they also talk about how they have invested a lot on improving their data set for creating this model. Now, some live examples that they've shown on the website. This is a model of the solar system. So this is functional. You can increase the time acceleration and you can watch all the planets going around the sun. You can also leave trails behind them so that you can track the trajectory of each of these planets. And there are a bunch of cool things within this model. So this looked actually very, very cool if this was created with just one single prompt. Now, second most important thing about this model is that this is really fast and this is very, very cost efficient. For achieving the same output, Opus requires 70k tokens and Grok 4.5 can do it in 16,000 tokens, which is almost 1/5 of the original, which is actually cool if this is true. And this also works for all the practical use cases like using PowerPoint, for using Word. So this is priced at $2 per million input tokens and $6 per million output tokens. It's super cheap if you compare it with other frontier models. So if you look at the pricing for Grok 4.5, this is $2, and the closest comparable pricing is of Sonnet 5, and this is clearly a better model than Sonnet 5. So the pricing for Opus 4.8 is $5, for Fable it is $10, for GPT 5.6 again it's $5. And the main difference comes around the output pricing. The output is even cheaper than Sonnet 5. So this is a fast and a cheap model, which makes it ideal for everyday coding tasks. Elon Musk himself quoted that this is comparable to Opus 4.7. In most of the benchmarks that they have put online, they claim it to be better than 4.8, but practically it is actually more comparable to Opus 4.7 and not the best models out there yet. Now let's look at some examples of the kind of things people have been able to create with it. So when you put it next to other frontier models like Claude Opus 4.8, Sonnet 5 and GLM 5.2, you see that Claude Opus 4.8 is a bit better, but apart from that, all the other models like Sonnet 5, GLM 5.2, they are very much comparable to 4.5. There isn't a huge difference, which is actually great because the pricing of both the Claude models here is higher than Grok 4.5. Although in some other examples, it was clearly worse than Claude Opus 4.7. So this is a benchmark BridgeMind uses on all the new models, that how well it can create a lava lamp. So on the left, it is Opus 4.7, but on right, you see the output from Grok 4.5, which is clearly bad. So this is definitely not as good as Opus 4.7, but if you look at pricing, it does not even have to be. If it can perform all daily coding tasks as good as Sonnet 5, it's already a win because it is much cheaper than that. And finally, there were also some comparisons on coding tasks that people already did on Grok 4.5. Like this person compared Grok 4.5 to Fable for one of the tasks, and Fable took 10 minutes and consumed 93k tokens. On the other hand, Grok 4.5 finished the task in just 56 seconds with 58k context tokens only, which is almost half, and the time is 1/10 of the time that Fable took. So this put it at a extremely good situation. But although there are some things that I discovered when I tried it myself, before getting into it, let me quickly tell you how you can use Grok 4.5 right now. So there are a couple of ways of using this. Either you can use it within Grok build for free. So for using Grok build, you have to copy this command and you have to drop it in your terminal. So this works very similar to any CLI based tool like Cloud Code, how it used to be at the start. Just copy this command and you drop it in terminal, and then you would have to log in into your X account and it will start working. A much better way of using this would be within Cursor. So if you already use Cursor, you can directly use it within Cursor. So for downloading Cursor, all you have to do is go on cursor.com/download, and that will take you to this page. You can download it for Mac OS or any other tool that you're using this on. Now, once you have downloaded Cursor, if you're using Cursor for the first time, this is the first screen you will land on, and then you will have to select a folder within your computer to start running this on. And once you have done all of that, then you can move on to this agents window on the top left, which would look something like this. So this is a existing repository where I created a skill that finds gaps within what ChatGPT is recommending to people. So it helps you ranking in ChatGPT. If you want to check it out, you can check this other video on my channel where I go over the entire skill. But in this video, I wanted to make this skill better. So when I posted this skill on Reddit, a lot of people suggested that rather than making a direct search on ChatGPT, how most people use ChatGPT is they make a search and then they ask multiple questions. Rather than one prompt, it's actually multi-turn prompting, after which a person finally comes up with a product recommendation. And it also has memories attached with it. So if you're using ChatGPT, it will also remember certain different things about you and your business. So that makes a huge difference. And I wanted to include all that nuance within the skill. So I dropped a prompt. First thing I noticed about the model is it is not as good as like Opus 4.8 or Sonnet 5 in terms of using tools. It was able to use the explore tool, the search tool, but when it came to asking me a couple of questions, it could not find the right tool. If you use Cursor, you will notice that instead of asking the questions directly, mostly the agent uses the inbuilt tool for asking a question where you get multiple choices and you can select one of them. But instead, it directly sent me the question in the chat. Once I responded to it, then it came up with a plan for making the change. Now, overall, this plan looked really well. This was well thought out, which talks about how well the coding ability of this model is. And in the next step, I let it edit all the files and execute the entire plan. Now, once this was created, I wanted to test this out, and I will ask it to run the skill itself so that we can check out how well this is working. So, three major observations about it. First, it is still bad as using some of these tools. Like it was still asking me a bunch of questions every time. The second thing, it was really fast. That is actually pretty good when you are doing a coding task, especially while you are making a plan. And finally, this is good for working on standalone tasks. So it was able to run this task autonomously. At a point in running this skill, it had to run multiple MCP calls and then give me the output. After running all of it, it gave me a final output, which basically contains a report on which are the target areas that I should work upon for getting the most bang on my buck. Basically, like if I publish one blog, it has most chances of showing up in ChatGPT. So it gave me the exact list, and it also shows me the journey through which a user would come upon this. Someone who is looking for a cheaper solution than the already existing solutions, like once that person starts a search and then they start looking at alternatives, then there is an opportunity to start ranking, because that is where a lot of other competitors are already showing up. So that is one. And apart from that, another area that it figured out is someone who's looking for a Chrome extension. That makes sense. And similarly, it has a big report where it analyzed all these gaps and then gave me a summary. So this worked well. Now coming on to the final conclusion, I think this is a solid model. This would replace the existing models that I was using for making a plan. So this is definitely not as good as Opus or GPT 5.5, but this is on a similar scale as Sonnet 5 or other good coding models like Codex 5.3. And on the other hand, if you look at the output cost for Sonnet 5, it is around $10 per million tokens. For Codex 5.3, this is around $14 for million tokens. On the other hand, Grok 4.5 is almost less than half of that price. It's at $6, and it is faster than all the other alternatives. So this is actually a good replacement. If you are using any of those models, it would make sense for you to shift to Grok 4.5. And honestly, I think this is just the start. Given that now Grok has access to all this money that they got because of the IPO, and on the other hand, they now have all the training data because they have acquired Cursor. All the best teams in the world actually use Cursor, so they would have all that data, and now they can create much better models than this. So going ahead, I expect much better models coming from Grok. This creates it that a lot of leading model providers like Claude and GPT will stop giving access of its models to Cursor because now it is linked with XAI. So there are two very probable outcomes in the future. Excited to see how this turns out. And that's all about the model. Do let me know if you tried it out. I would love to know what kind of outputs you got. And that's all for this video. I will see you in the next one.